Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. So it's the 8th of the month. I normally do my market walk on the 7th, but yesterday was Friday seal deal. So here we are, Saturday the 8th, and we're going to take a look through everything in the market across TCG Player, a little bit on eBay, and I'm just going to sit and talk about it while we do that. So come along with me. So first up, set booster boxes like we always look at. I've opened a bunch of these. Kaldheim 130, and yeah, market price is down to 120, but the cheapest sale price is 130. So the market price has fallen down, but the cheapest sale price is still level to where it was about a month ago. You know, I'm surprised to see that price suddenly fall because this has been out of print for quite a while. You would expect that anyone who was just wanting to dump this into the market because it had rotated out of standard and gone out of print would have long ago done it. And so I'm a little surprised to see that kind of movement, except, you know, the whole Magic market is just a hair weak right now, just a hair. And we're seeing kind of price ascents stopping, and we're seeing pullbacks on a couple of things. So I think that's going to be a theme going forward here on this video. Zendikar rising 115, yeah, pretty flat for about the last 2 months. So that's good to see after so long waiting for this to come up much at all. You know, it's one of those horribly overprinted 2020 era products and just has suffered for years because of it. I know that some of the big dealers on eBay that I follow that are distributors with a retail channel on eBay, man, they still have this in stock. And so when distribution still has a 2020 era product in stock, you know it was bad. Midnight Hunt, always want to come take a look at this just because, again, very heavily printed. This was a 2021 era product that came out about October of 2021. 105 and fairly flat for the last couple of months. Maybe we could say it's given up a couple of dollars. Well, not even that, because this vertical axis is 100 here and 102 there. So yeah, very flat. Crimson Vow 138. And you know, I always pointed out, but I suspect this had a single print run in mid to late 2021. It was released November or December of 21. I think these boxes, specifically the set boxes, had a single print run ever. That was it. And that's why their prices have been so out of line their entire life. They've just been a lot higher than you should expect them to be, especially since the draft boxes. I think the draft boxes are still like $85 or $90. We'll get to those in a little bit. But yeah, very slow march upwards. What's it look like on the 1 year? So a year ago, a market price of 108, and today a market price of 130. So up about 20% in a year, even on a terrible product like this. Modern Horizons 2, now some distributors still have this in stock, and I don't just mean on eBay in their retail sales channel, I mean available to card stores. They still have this in stock. So very sad, because this is one of those products that I kind of made a moderate size bet into, so bigger than, you know, the baseline level that I will buy for every expansion. Not a huge bet, but I really hope that because of the enemy fetch lands that this product would do much better. It's interesting if you go look at the actual enemy fetch lands themselves from this set. They're doing pretty good. They've come up quite a bit, even though there are thousands of copies of them available on TCG Player. They're such a staple card that they've come up very well, but it hasn't been enough to pull up the entire box. So just, oof, yeah, that shape of that chart looks bad, but it's only from 220 down to 214. So the market price only dropping $6 in the last 2 months. And again, that's kind of the level of pullback that I'm talking about us having seen in maybe the last 4 to 6 weeks. It's just some very slight weakness in the Magic market. Who knows if it'll develop into a full-blown bear market. Again, the thing I remind people about is Magic has been in a bull market for 2 years now. It has been a long bull market. We've done very well. Prices have come up a ton. Modern collector boxes have been absolutely kicking butt, and you know, if we saw a pullback, it would not surprise me. We're kind of due for one, to the extent that markets are cyclical. Not that I think we have scheduled pullbacks and bull runs or anything like that, but it wouldn't surprise me just to see the market pulling back. Not much movement here. Market price down about $1 in the last 2 weeks. $131 for new Capenna set boxes, and It's just kind of the TCG expansion life cycle. Even something like this, where people hated New Capenna. You know, people hated the whole mob boss aesthetic, the Art Deco kind of artwork in it. People kind of liked, but the gilded foils didn't catch on. The set was just not that popular. Too many vehicles, things like that. People just didn't care for this set very much. But even so, you give it 3 years to stew, and the boxes tighten up, the supply drops, and they go up in price. 131. Forgotten Realms, yes. AFR. This was the first set that I really made a heavy bet on. And I'll admit it was probably emotional more than anything. I thought there was going to be really great overlap in the player bases between Dungeons and Dragons and Magic, and there probably is, except that overlap is probably already exploited nearly to the complete degree that it can be. And so making a Dungeons and Dragons Magic set probably really didn't bring a lot of new people over. It was probably exciting for a lot of players like me who enjoy Magic and Dungeons and Dragons, but it probably didn't create many new players. And so, yeah, I have pretty big positions in the set boxes, in the collector boxes. I have a bit of the draft boxes, but not as many. I was an early believer in the set boxes when I saw how hard WotC was loading them down with value. 132, and let's look at the 1 year. Oh, well, okay. So the minimum over the last year was 101 market, and it's 126 market right now. So up about 25% over the last year. Still very good performance. I mean, and it's getting up to a price where, you know, if you bought this at $90 in the lows, then, well, you're feeling pretty good about being up 50% nearly. Lord of the Rings set boxes, man, these have had some real head fakes on going out of print and starting to tighten up. There's been a couple times WotC has made conflicting statements about how long they're going to support this product, how long it'll be available, and there's just no telling how much of it they've printed. So, you know, given that they paid money for the license to add the Lord of the Rings IP in the Magic, you should expect them to have printed the ever-living crap out of this, but it has surprised even me on how long it has remained robust. Of course, this was a summer of 23 product, and we're getting close to 2 years since the original release now. You would think at some point around now, it would drop out, that you would no longer see big resupplies of this product into the market, that it would be like other straight to modern sets, and it would stop being supported at the printer. But here we are, $220 on the market price about a week ago, and now it's back down to $210 over the whole year. Yeah, the lowest point in the last year was about 160 market, so it's up about 33% off of that. I think this is a great product, and these boxes, even just these set boxes, will do great in the long term. Commander Master set boxes, $400, such a tumultuous life these have had. Lowest in the last 12 months market price was $330, and it's $385 today. So what's that, up about, it's about 17-18%, something like that. Not too bad. This is a product that has flustered me forever because of the giant price swings, because stores needed to sell this at something like $430 a box at release to make their money back off of what they had to pay distribution to get it. Of course, the market at the time could not support that. This was the same summer as Lord of the Rings, and so it came out, I think it was after Lord of the Rings. It was the next release in the summer of 23, and man, card stores just, they got brutally hurt off of this product. This and Magic 30 were WotC's two biggest attempts of seeing just how far they could push prices, and boy, the card stores really paid for it. Okay, moving on to draft booster boxes. Of course, the things that come up on this search will be draft boxes from the set box era. Before the set box era, these were simply called booster boxes. So keep that in mind. Double Masters 2022 draft boxes, $290. $291? Yeah, not bad. What's it look like a year ago? $225. Okay, so that's come up about $65, which is about 30%, 20, yeah, about 20-25%. Not bad. Not bad. Good cards in here. The collector boxes are where you find the textured foils. And let's see, yeah, Double Masters 2022 was the one that had Mana Drain in it. Even though Mana Drain is only legal in Commander, And the expansion right before this was Baldur's Gate, Commander Legends Baldur's Gate. And they took Mana Drain out of that, stuck it in here. That was the big rug pull on this product. And again, this was summer of 22, and the market just couldn't handle the prices. It was a weak market at the time. The collector boxes really suffered and still suffer today, really. We'll get to those. Lord of the Rings draft, $160. Wow. Wow. So it definitely feels like more of these sold the market recently. So they were at 172 market, and now they're at 159. So they've come down $13 over about the last 3 months. Interesting. Okay. That's definitely some weakness, but also I just, I stopped buying draft boxes quite a long time ago and only bought set boxes when there was the choice between the two. When we had the remastered sets like Dominaria Remastered, Ravnica Remastered, and we didn't get set boxes, we only got draft. Of course, I bought those drafts, but when you had a choice between set and draft, I stopped buying the draft a long, long time ago. So, weird to see the price come back down. It's given up almost a whole year's worth of progress. Or, in other words, it's only made about $8 of progress on the market price in the last year. Kamigawa draft boxes, 111. Wow. Let's see, this rotated out of standard. Was it a year and a half ago or 6 months ago? Man, I can never keep those rotation groups straight. But price has been going up pretty decently. So I would bet it was a year and a half ago that it rotated out of standard. Strixhaven draft box, $115. Yeah, sometimes their data on TCG Player gets whacked up. So over the last year, the lowest point was $90, and right now it's $111 on the market price. So up what? 2/9. What's that fraction? 22%. There you go. 22% in the last year. Fair, but again, low value boxes, heavy to ship them. Draft boxes of this era just did not offer much. AFR, I have a few of these, not as many as the set boxes. 119 is good to see, flat for the last 6 weeks. And over the last year, see, this is what I'm talking about. A good bull market that we've been in for quite a while, where even these overprinted 2021 era standard draft boxes, I mean, could you come up with a worse part of the Magic market? Even those have come up 22% in the last year. And Commander Masters draft, 293, and hit a high of 295 on the market price, and they're 290 today. Very interesting movement over the last 3 months, going up and plateauing over the last year, low at 268. So up just a little bit. Not great performance. I don't know what to think about this. WotC did not do a Masters release in 2024. They skipped it for summer of 24 because the market was just too weak for it. So it'll be interesting to see what comes along this summer and how Commander Masters can hold up against it. Time Spiral Remastered. As I always say, this has had so many false starts on gaining some ground. It used to have a lot of good lottery cards in it. Some of them have been reprinted, like Yawgmoth got reprinted in Dominaria Remastered. So 256 for the box in the last year. Yeah, wow. Couple low bounces and then doing okay now. 212 at its low and 265 today on the market prices. So what's that, $53? Wow, pretty good. So up, 24% from this low here in November? That's really nice. I think I can probably get some more of this and do another, at least one more patron sealed sale of this sometime in the future. I don't have it right now, but I think I can get more of it at very favorable prices, so we can give good discounts on a patron sealed sale. Commander Legends, $160. Another one that's just been on a roller coaster. Of course, this had the original printing of Jeweled Lotus in it, and when the Commander Rules Committee banned Jeweled Lotus, this box took a hit. That probably was coming off somewhere around here. Maybe it was there. Maybe around September of last year, and then it cratered down. Eventually Jeweled Lotus will get unbanned. Mana Crypt also. All of them will get unbanned. I was talking to a friend about it recently, and he was like, do you really think Jeweled Lotus will get unbanned? And I said, dude, before it got banned, it was like a $120 card. Imagine you're WotC, and you can print $120 bills. How many of them would you choose to print? Yeah, it's going to get unbanned. $190, very, very disappointing action on this. Of course, yes, it is the draft box competing with the set boxes, and when the set boxes themselves are still available at distribution at this point, wow. This went out of print in mid to late 23. Yeah, because this was in August or September of 21 product. It was supported for about 2 years, so it's been out of print for about a year and a half, and still just can't catch any support. Just way too many of it. And double feature, my beloved. We could have another sale on this, patrons, so if you want it, I can get you good prices. So what's it done in the last year from 147 market to 170, so up 15.5% market price in the last year. This has always been such an interesting product, and I think it will have its time. It is slowly getting there, 15% in the last year. I mean, if we were in the stock market and our S&P 500 index ETFs went up 15% in a year, we might give a enthusiastic toast to it. It'd feel nice. It wouldn't be earth shattering or anything, but 15% over here, we feel a little bit gypped. Okay, so we're going to move on to play booster boxes, and I've just opened these all in order that they were released. Murders at Karlov Manor, of course, the original release of play boxes. These need to be around 140 for card stores to be making money on this platform, and right now they're 123. So pretty poor performance, and yep, they've never reached up high enough to get there. Just not a well-received set, and this was the first release of play boxes. So you had a couple of factors. You would have had that WotC would have been taking their first stab at trying to figure out what to put into them and how to engineer the box in order to make it desirable. And you would expect some kind of stuttering along the way to get there. Also, the market was being asked to pay a greatly increased price for them. Outlaws 134 came just a month or so later and is doing considerably better. Still not great. Modern Horizons 3, $230 for the box. And again, this is one that needs to be at about 250, 240, 250. I forget the exact number, but the wholesale price was pretty high on this, and the market is just not supporting the prices that card stores need to make money on this. Bloomborough 135. Yes, forgive me if I get these out of order. I can never remember between Bloomborough and Duskmorn which one came first. I think it was Bloomborough first. So Bloomborough play boxes. These aren't quite a year old yet, but we can see release day $152 and now down to $132 at the market price. So just the TCG expansion lifecycle doing its thing on a print-to-demand standard product. Not unexpected. Duskmorn 121, very poor. Man, and it's fallen off this cliff, so it's given up $23 of market price in the last month. Ouch. Foundations shocked us all, $150. That's still shocking even today. Man, it's amazing what this product did. And let's see, we'll assume somewhere around here was released. Yeah, November 143, and it's actually gone up in price since then. Very, very amazing. And part of this, again, when this is the 5th or 6th play box that WotC releases, well, they're starting to get the engineering down. They're starting to get feedback from the first original boxes actually being out in the market before this one has to be set in stone and sent off to the printers and everything finalized. So they can actually take some of those lessons learned from Murders and from Outlaws, integrate them into this, and make a better product. And man, it really shows in the difference in price. Innistrad Remastered, of course, the first set of 2025, $151, the lowest price. And release day 167, not too bad, down to 147 at the market, so gave up $20. Yeah, I don't think card stores are making money there, especially since this is a half premium product. The break even on the 36 booster pack play boxes for standard was about 140, And so 147.5 is not going to do it on a half premium product. Half premium is what I call the things in between standard and masters, which is where the pricing of this is. So it's not masters pricing at the wholesale level. It's not standard pricing at the wholesale level. It's in between. And Aetherdrift, of course, they fiddled with the box content, went from 36 booster packs down to 30, and were able to lower the price. 103. This was the big dump sale before it released, the huge dump sale on TCG Player. I want to say, golly, my recollection was they were selling the boxes for like 104, something like that at that point. But wow, lots of movement on those boxes in that small time period. And you expect the price to come down like this. This is what we expect to see. Pre-release, some people just want to secure their boxes. They have more money than they know what to do with, so they're willing to buy early on just to make sure they're going to get it on their doorstep the day of or a day or two after release. And then it comes down as more and more card stores start listing their allocations. The price can, in some cases, pop upwards. Of course, this one did because it was revealed what all was in the set, and the collector boxes really popped upwards, and now I've given back all of it. And speaking of that, moving on to collector boxes, so I have not pre-opened these. Let me open all the ones that are interesting to me, which is most of them. Oh yeah, Doctor Who. We've seen some fun action on that in the last several days. Okay, so let's start moving forward while some of this loads. Aetherdrift was my, 285. Oof, that hurts. 285 market price, and today 207. So it's given up $70 of market price, 25%. It's way down into the area where card stores cannot sell it profitably. Wow. It's amazing because this really popped up when they talked about, I believe, the one serialized card that was going to be in it, the special treatments, the special guest slot, all the stuff that they had lined up for this. And man, everybody went bananas. And then it's come out and it's just melted down. And even the reception of the set post-release has seemed to be much better than the anticipation of the set. People were talking about, oh, it's Fast and Furious and Akira ripoff, and, we hate vehicles and stuff, but the reception and actual feedback of the limited environment has been much more positive than the perception before it released. Bloomborough, 375, pretty flat. Not seeing a lot of pullback here yet. Maybe the boxes are scarce enough in the market that it can resist. Only 63 listed. Kaldheim. So this has given up a bit. In the last few months, it had gotten up here to a market price of 197. It's down to 192 right now. So it's given up about 3%, which is kind of in line with the small pullback that we've seen in collector boxes. I really divide the market into, probably 5 segments. The part of the market that, or maybe 6, because the 6th segment would be stuff I don't care about. And so I really see the market as like Magic print to demand boxes, like play, set, and draft boxes, and then Magic collector boxes, then Scarlet and Violet era Pokemon, and then Sword and Shield era and before Pokemon, and then Flesh and Blood. And so I kind of divide it up into that when I think about stuff. And so we're kind of moving now into the Magic collector part of the market, where I feel like things are different than what we were looking at previously in this video when we looked at draft, set, and play boxes. So the collector boxes act differently because they are not print to demand. They get one print run and that's it. They don't get reprinted. Okay. So slight pullback here, just 2 or 3%. Not a big deal, especially since it went up a lot in 2024. So, we saw a 50% increase in price in 2024. A tiny pullback. We're not going to feel bad about that. Dominaria United, again, another one that's had some false starts. What did it get up to? 207 here, and it's 201. So, again, 2, 3, 4% pullback in the last month or so. Hard for that product to catch a lot of wind because Dominaria United just shouldered or bust, and the Lost Legends didn't turn out to be worth anything. Ravnica Remastered collector boxes, the one that really surprised us the most from January of 2024, $374, peaked up here at 389. So it's pulled back again, 15 bucks. And I'm not going to try to do that ratio in my head, somewhere around 5%. Let's just say that. Unfinity, another one. Now, this one actually hasn't pulled back. It's continued to march up, but probably not by much. Okay, so it just had its pullback starting here in November. 203 it hit there, and it's 206 today after taking a little bit of a round trip dip there. But again, on the 1 year timeline, $145 a year ago, and it's up $60 from there. So again, very good performance, up 40% in the last year. Yes, I will admit I was very negative on this product. I think I only have about 3 of these collector boxes from this expansion. I don't like unsets. The market and the player base doesn't really like unsets. And yeah, not a lot to say about that. 280 bucks. Where did these spike all the way up to? 340. Very sad. 340, so it's come down $55. Yeah, so it's lost about 20%, somewhere around there. I did not expect this to be so poor. After Dominaria Remastered did pretty poorly 2 years ago, after they completely turned things around with Ravnica Remastered collector boxes 1 year ago, I expected them to hit another home run with this. Maybe we're too early. Maybe given another 6 months, this will have a hard turnaround. Edgar Markov was apparently not enough to do it, even though WotC's printing philosophy on serialized cards has been fixed. You know, I did a video close to a year ago where up to that point I had counted that WotC had released over 130,000 serialized cards. And now they're getting it under control, where instead of putting 60,000 new serialized cards in an expansion, they put 500. You know, that's the way they need to do it, because there's only so much money that can flow into the serialized Magic market, into that little subset of the market. There's only so much money that collectors will put into it, and WotC needs to not dilute it by printing tens of thousands of serialized cards at a time. And of course, my beloved Dominaria Remastered, I still have great conviction in this product. It hurts to say that for so long and for the market to not agree with me. I think at some point the market will drastically reprice these boxes given what's in them. I just think the contents of the boxes are too good. Yeah, they probably printed too many of these boxes, but the contents of them are just so damn good. 225, and what did we get up to briefly? 243. So yeah, it's given back, what's that, $15? Yeah, $15. Not too demoralizing, but you know, I can't wait for this to catch a lot more support to the upside. I want to say I have about somewhere between 10 and 20 of these boxes. Innistrad Midnight Hunt 144. Man, what's it done in the last year? So it bottomed at 108, 107 in the last year, and it's 147 at the market price now. So up about 35 to 40%. Very good 1 year performance, but the problem is not many people bought them at 108. That's the issue. Most people are still underwater. Doctor Who. I don't want to labor this one too much. I'm going to try to get a video out of it in a couple of weeks, because I think what has happened with this product in the last couple of weeks is not quite over. Of course, there was a giant, possibly attempted buyout, 45 boxes in 1 day, and it wiped the market out. The market gapped up by $200 on the back of those buyouts. And since then, it's sold 2 boxes as everybody keeps coming in and undercutting each other, trying to find where the support is in the market. So I want to wait until this has actually found some support and started to sell boxes regularly again, till the market finds where it can actually clear and buyers and sellers can meet again, because apparently $369 is still too high. Sellers need to keep cutting the prices and find out where buyers will come back into the market. And then once they're back, I'll make a video about this because I think there are some interesting lessons and some things to observe. Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, such a roller coaster for this. This was, golly, January of 22. Yeah, because 23 was Phyrexia. Yeah. So this was January of 22. And this is actually probably an all-time high price. It had spiked up to right at 290 after release as people saw how rare the Hitasugu cards were. And so to see it at nearly $300 now. And of course, that's a very, very slight pullback on the market price of about $6. Again, that's what we're seeing in a lot of collector boxes. Okay, page 2. Let's see, what do I want to look at here? We'll take Crimson Vow. We'll take Outlaws because it's been getting some actual support. Let's take a look at Streets. Strixhaven because I love it. Oh, Spider-Man collector box pre-sales there. It's the first I've seen those. Phyrexia still down off of its highs from last year. Ixalan that WotC keeps dumping on Amazon trying to destroy. AFR is catching good wind upwards. And let's go to page 4 to pick up our Lord of the Rings collector boxes. Take a look at Baldur's Gate. I want to take a look at Throne of Eldraine. I swear that's come down. That was the original collector box. Okay, I think we got everyone we want. So Crimson Vow 140. This has been a lot more flat than I expected. Just more and more boxes keep coming to market. Look at that, 224 boxes on the market today. So there's so much selling pressure against this product right now. It's rough. Very, very rough. In the last year, it sold 374. So, gee, there's probably 5-6 months of product in the market at least, and then more will come to market. Do any of you guys see a face every time you look at this? Every time I look at this for years now, I see a face. Outlaws 220. Wow. Wow. This has really come up nicely. So on the market price, it touched 207, and then the market is 199. So the actual prices are, yeah, the market price is lagging the real market, the lowest sale price. And wow, that means it must have gapped up recently. Very, very surprising. I mean, these are respectable prices, 220. Card stores can almost make money off of that. Foundations 415. Very good. Very nice to see this really has not pulled back at all. So 210 market price about a month ago, and 410 and 410 today. Yeah, wow. It's really good to see that that's still holding up. The TCG expansion life cycle has not been able to pull this down yet. It's such a strong product. Again, Foundations was the biggest surprise out of 2024. March of the Machine. Now this is one, yep, that's gapped up quite a bit recently. $20 on the market price. Lowest price today, though, about $10 below the market. And it's got some pretty decent gaps here. So after another 7 boxes, it goes up to $286. I've been watching that for quite a long time because even, say, 2 months ago, there were pretty big gaps sitting out here. Some boxes have come onto the market to fill in those gaps, but still there aren't many boxes until this pops to 300. What's the sell-through rate? 2 a day. Yeah. Wow. And Double Masters 2022. This is another one like Time Spiral where it's just such a tumultuous life where it's just gone up and down and up and down, and it makes me suspect there are just a lot of boxes of this sitting out there. 246 for the low price today, and it peaked up here at a market price of 281 just a month and a half ago. 281, and the market price has dropped $30 since then. Yeah. God, that's disheartening. I have a lot of boxes of this, but my basis price is well below 200, so that at least makes me feel better. But I'd be much happier today if it was 280 instead of 250. But yeah, just lots of Lots of selling pressure, and you can see how many boxes it's got to chew through before it really makes any progress. Price-wise in the market, what's the sell rate? A little over 1 a day. Streets of New Capenna, 164. Again, not a lot to love in these boxes. This was right in the middle of the worst period for collector box engineering. Just WotC didn't know what they needed to do, and they thought, well, let's just print tons of boxes, and that'll be good enough. 117 a year ago in the market price, 162 today, so $45 increase. So about 30% in the last year. Not bad. Strixhaven, my beloved. Yes, sadly, I think I only have something like 6 boxes of this. I wish I could work a deal and get a bunch more at a good price. I'd love to be able to do a sealed sale to my patrons on this. I would really love to be able to. 325, and a year ago, 221. Yeah, so $100 in the last year. About 40% increase. How many in the market? 36 in the market, and in the last month it sold 17. So yeah, market is tightening up for this one, definitely. Phyrexia, now it's had the issue where it spiked up to about 360, and actually it was longer ago than that. It's back here. Okay, so the market price never got up above 348. Individual sale prices, I swear, were higher than that. Yeah, so you can see there, 13 items sold between 270 and 366. So I had a big spike up there. I had some patrons clear out my inventory of this because I was still selling them at like $300 on the monthly list. Some of them happily came in and scooped those up. 337 even today, so yeah, sad to see that it's come down, but it rose too hard, too fast. This line was too steep. It was going to pull back, and more boxes were going to come out of closets and fill in on the market. Lost Caverns of Ixalan, $310. WotC has done everything it can to destroy this product in the last 6 months. Look, where did it get up to here? 353 market price. Even if we take this peak, 345, and the market price is down to 318 today. So WotC has been aggressively dumping this on Amazon every day for over 6 months now, and regularly doing flash dumps all the way down into the 270s. AFR, this is one that did not move much for a long time, and then in the last, well, we can look here, the last maybe 6 months, yep, it's been on a very, very nice rise. In the last year, it's gone from 132 to 182, so up $50, 39% increase in the last year. This is one that just kind of, in my observation, is kind of quietly moving up. You know, you saw that I had to go to like page 3 of collector box results on TCG Player to see this box, so I don't see it very often. I catch it once a month when I do the market walk, and then maybe in between there, 1 or 2 other times, I'll see the price if I'm really digging for stuff. But it's surprised me how much this has moved up. So I think, you know, you'll eventually see it accelerate. How many boxes do we have? Yeah, good number to get over $200. So that's still going to take a while. 133 in the market, selling 50 a month. Wow, 50 a month. That's actually a really good pace. Man. That's very surprising that it's 50 a month. Now, what happened here? That's only 12 boxes. Okay, that doesn't look like some ridiculous buyout. It's a pretty weak buyout if it was a buyout attempt. Baldur's Gate, $230. 226 on the market price. Not a lot of good gaps here, so it's going to just keep moving slowly. This is another one where I think it was probably just printed to oblivion, and 2022 print dates for this stuff. I know when I was opening all the draft boxes, every case of draft boxes I got of Baldur's Gate to open said they were printed in March of 22. I never saw a different date. I think they did one monstrous printing, and I think the collector boxes had a monstrous printing also, and that's why even now, 3 years later, we're still seeing a price that card stores would not make back their original wholesale costs. Throne of Eldraine, the original collector box, $255. Has this one come down? No, it hasn't. So it took a little bit of a round trip from 240 down to 220, and now it's solidly going back up. 36 in the market and selling 8 a month. So very, very slow seller. I just thought I had a recollection of this having been higher priced. Special edition Lord of the Rings back up to 1550. Nice. So it had gotten as high as 1660 on the market. And what is this? 11 sold in one day. Interesting. And not too long until we're back up into the 1600s. Okay. 5 boxes. Sell-through rate is 1 a day. Man, 1 a day. I'll take it. This was one where I just stumbled in. I saw some really good deals on the boxes, and I bought a lot of these right at $300, I think. So eventually, I've offered them a couple times as box openings to my patrons and not had any takers yet. And the original Lord of the Ring box, 725. Wow, this one's been very, very slowly melting, so giving up $20 of market price in the last 6 weeks. And onwards to Flesh and Blood. Now, the interesting things happening in Flesh and Blood right now is that some of these early Fab 2.0 boxes, like Outsiders and Dynasty and I think Dusk Till Dawn, okay, it's on the next page, have started breaking over $100. And then some of the more recent boxes, like the Hunted and Rosetta, have also started breaking over $100. Now, has someone come back in and tried to crash this market back down? That's surprising because this was like 130 yesterday. Yeah, see that sale there? 125 in the last couple of days, and now there's a box available now for 105. So maybe some sellers coming back in to undercut a little bit, or maybe somebody who just doesn't quite understand how markets work and doesn't know that they should be pricing that box at 129.98 instead of 105. Either way, maybe I'll come by and buy this box. I still want to get a couple more of these. But the early Flesh and Blood boxes, Welcome to Wraith, Arcane Rising, Crucible of War, Monarch First, Tales First, and Everfest First, they're really not catching any wind yet. And the last 3 of those, Monarch, Tales, and Everfest, there's still a huge amounts of them available on the marketplace. And compared to the sale through rate, I mean, I do not expect them to start marching up strongly anytime soon. The first 3, Welcome to Wraith, Arcane Rising, and Crucible of War Unlimited, those 3 unlimited boxes, the amounts left in the market are tightening up, and I think people are sleeping on it. Now, I've been saying that for a couple of years. I've been increasing my position, lowering my cost basis, and eventually I'll be right. The problem is I was right way, way, way too early. And let's go Arcane Rising Unlimited. Take a quick look at a couple of these. Welcome to Wraith, 106 in the market, and it's selling 28 a month, so about 1 a day. So you're looking at 3-4 months of inventory in the market, and more will come to the market, but I would expect by the end of this year, we'll see this really tightening up. Famous last words. Crucible of War Unlimited, and this is given back a bit recently from 88 back down to 82. 48 in the market and 22 sold per month. So again, only 2 months, a little over 2 months of inventory in the market. I think the market and buyers are just not responding correctly to how little of this is left here. 69 in the market, 11 per month. Very sparse sales recently, but the price has just been going up. Lowest in the last year is $94 market, and now it's $123. So up 30% in the last year. Not a lot more to say about that. We'll go on to Scarlet and Violet. I made a video for my patrons yesterday. It's up on Patreon if you're a patron and you want to see it, with what I'm looking at with Scarlet and Violet, what I think about that, and what I'm looking for going forward. So if you're a patron and you want to see that, go over and look at that. Move on to Sword and Shield. and we'll enjoy our victory lap here because hopefully you are coming along with Final Trade in 21 and 22 and 23 when we were buying the crap out of Sword and Shield, and now we're up 500% on most of these products. The very worst ones, battle styles, were only up 100%. Gosh, it's rough. Price is doing very good. It looks like maybe Evolving Skies has given up a little. I know Fusion Strike and Chilling Rain gave up a bit. Those had marched up very quickly. But again, the Sword and Shield era ended over 2 years ago. The end of this calendar year, 2025, will be the end of the Scarlet and Violet era. Okay? Scarlet and Violet era will end with this calendar year. So keep in mind what that means for how old these Sword and Shield boxes are getting. So $1,300, yeah, this is just giving up a bit. Well, $80. So it feels, yeah, it does it's $100, but percentage wise, it's only what, 7%, something like that. Fusion Strike. I've got so much of this, so much. When the idiots on Reddit were begging, don't buy it. Don't buy it. It'll never be worth anything. There's too much of it. It'll never be worth anything. Oh no, it's come down at market price from $4.90 to $4.65. It's come down $25. Oh no. And you know what's happened? The whole time it's been coming down for this 2 months here, more and more boxes have been getting destroyed every day. God, it feels good. Chilling Rain, the other one that Reddit warned everyone to not buy because it would never be worth anything. Yes, it's come down from $3.42 to $3.12 at the market price, giving up about 9%. These big purchases here. Man. So that's most of Sword and Shield. A couple of them wrapped to the second page, but again, Sword and Shield's not going to do much going forward except climb upwards. I mean, these are scarce collectibles that people destroy for fun. They've been out of print for years. It's widely considered to be the best era of Pokemon yet. Real quick, let's go through P Football Pete and Flipside Gaming on eBay. We'll just take some quick runs. These $400 Modern Horizon boxes are the cheapest you're going to find out there right now. And I think he only has 6 of them. I actually almost bought them earlier this morning. Journey Together 215. I think we'll see relief on that. Outlaws at 186. That's pretty good. And depending on what discounts you get on different websites, it's probably about time to lay in a position of that because it's not going to be able to hold that sub 200 much longer. 230 on Modern Horizons, that's okay. Lord of the Rings set boxes at 210. I think that was cheaper than TCG Player, or were they 200? I believe they were 200. Journey Together, ETBs do not pay $83. Prismatic Evolutions. I don't know how much Pokemon Center is going to have to print of that for people to stop throwing elbows in each other's faces to get it at Costco. Twilight Masquerade, Build and Battle bundles. No, these are the booster bundles, not the Build and Battles. 151 down to $70. You can find the 10-box displays of this from a couple of dealers on eBay for about, I want to say $650 or $660, so you can get a little cheaper than buying 10 individuals of this. $249, that's not going to move right now when you can get them for $204 on TCG Player. Here's the bundle here, but it's $700. Assassin's Creed Beyond. Commander Masters Collectors, $230. You know, I think these are going to hit a point. They're still not there to tightening up the supply is the problem. There's just too many of them out there. And they're amazing. They're very well engineered, but there were just too many out there, and it's just taking a long time to get some wind underneath them. One of the bad side effects about the current Pokemon market is these kind of displays and V-Boxes and EXs and tins and stuff. They're all just so much more expensive now. You used to pay about $12 to $14 each on eBay to get cases of these, and now they've almost doubled in price. Crown Zenith. Yeah, I hope you got in on a lot of that while it was super cheap, like I did. It took about a year, but Pokemon finally reprinted enough to crush the price, And boy, I put a lot back in the closet. $80 Midnight Hunt draft boxes. These are interesting. I actually had multiple patrons ask me if they should go deep on these before Modern Horizons 3 came out. At the time, WotC was pre-dumping them for about $80 on Amazon. And I advised against it. I guess that was the right call since they're only 104 here. So, yeah, it's been about a year. Yeah, 24% increase, and then you would pay fees. So, yeah, you would have only made about $10, and that's before shipping. So, yeah, I guess it was the right call to say no. It didn't feel like a great bet because the gift bundles, they only have one collector pack in them. Some of them are engineered better than others. 288, at least they're coming back to reality on the price of these boxes. MH3 Commander deck sets for 190. Journey Together, get the case for $210 per box. Surprising Stellar Crown has finally come up on the back of all of the Pokemania recently. It resisted for a long time because the original print runs were absolutely huge. Foundations Jumpstart at $90. Sadly, the EV of that has been crushed, so there's no opportunity to open it anymore. There was early on. Kamigawa single collector boosters for $30. That's way too expensive. Set boxes of Kamigawa. These have spiked all over the place, all the way up to about 140 and then back down to about 110 since it's rotated out of standard. Duskmourn Nightmare Bundle, $80. Nobody ever really went gaga over that. Some other games that people don't care about. Tins. $160 Innistrad play boxes. They're cheaper on TCG Player. Some Yu-Gi-Oh! Some Brother War Commander decks. Some old booster bundles. Some One Piece. Phyrexia set boxes, $135. They're cheaper on TCG Player. These Battle Academies that, man, you just cannot sell enough of these. Nobody wants them. The inventory hangs around forever. Pokemon Grand Adventure Collection case. See, this is the kind of stuff where the price has just gone crazy because of the run on Pokemon recently. And it's sad because I would get cases of that stuff and give individual ones to nieces and nephews and my kids for their birthdays. The Boltund V-Box. Who remembers my video where I had the desk back here stacked with about 60 of those things? And I opened them up. They had Fusion Strike, Brilliant Stars, and Evolving Skies packs in them. Man, I was buying those at $12 to $13 and cracking them open to get the booster packs inside. So much arbitrage available on that back when they were cheaper. Ravnica Remastered Draft Boxes, $178. And then you're getting into more Digimon. The next Star Wars game to be canceled. Lord of the Rings picture boxes. I never understood what those were for. MetaZoo. Oof. Dodge that bullet. Okay. And then we'll move lastly over to Flipside. We'll just take a look through here. $10 more for these than P-Football Pete had them for. Ooh, these are more expensive. $260 for Brothers War. I don't think it quite commands that price yet. Yeah, these prices on Flipside feel high right now. I wonder if they just never adjust their prices downward and the market is just slowly pulling back away from where their prices have been. Tarkir cases. Yeah, it's kind of reasonable. If you want to get a case at a decent price, especially if you have your eBay MasterCard, that's actually pretty decent. Foundations Jumpstart. Yeah, these are $10 more than P-Football Pete had them. Come on, give me some deals over here. I'm just not seeing anything. Most of the time, this is the better place to shop than P-Football Pete. But right now, it's not turning out. Yeah, not seeing anything interesting here. It's definitely worth coming through and looking. Jumpstart 22, I almost got excited when I saw this a couple days ago because 5% off when you buy 4 boxes or more. And then your eBay MasterCard for another 3 1/3 off. I actually went over and looked at what the EV was to see if it was worth cracking a dozen cases of them, but no, it's not. Still not. Very sad. 240 for Lord of the Rings set boxes. It's a bit high. And again, you see this kind of EX box. These used to go between about $60 and $90. So 125 is very high. Just a bit of fallout of the crazy Pokemon market right now. Yeah, very sad. Flipside Gaming is usually better in price than P Football Pete, and today he is not. It doesn't look like there is anything over here. More MetaZoo, guys. Get all your garbage MetaZoo. Okay, well, let me go back to the webcam view and we'll talk for another minute. So, you know, the market has pulled back just a very small bit on Magic. I think it's a good opportunity. If there's something you want to get, just go ahead and start slowly buying into it. I don't know if we're going to see weakness in the wider market. We've seen a bit of weakness in the stock market over the last couple of weeks. We've seen Bitcoin give up a lot and bounce up and down since then several times. So, you know, that kind of halo effect of wealth that then feeds into the TCG market downstream from the other markets, yeah, it could drag us down here in the TCG market for a little while. I wouldn't be surprised. Again, don't forget that we've been on a bull run in Magic for 2 years now. Flesh and Blood has been pretty flat and is starting to break to the upside, and Pokemon has been its own wild thing, driven solely by print run numbers. So those are kind of 3 different beasts when you think about this. Sometimes the TCG market can pull all 3 of those games in the same direction, and sometimes it just flat can't. Sometimes the more local effects like Pokemon USA print run numbers or engineering of specific Magic collector boxes is what overrides the rest of the market. But again, remember, we're always downstream of the wider macro economy, the stock market, and to a lesser degree, Bitcoin, and then all the other crap coins. So maybe we've hit the top for this cycle. Maybe we won't see it again for another year. I kind of doubt we're going to see a several year-long bear market. It doesn't look like that right now, because right now we don't see insane overprinting from Flesh and Blood and Pokemon and Magic like we did in 2021 and 22. Back then, all 3 of those games were just printing way, way, way too much, and it was bound to wreck the markets, which it did, and it took a long time to recover from them. But we've had a very nice recovery, and markets are cyclical. On the long timeline, you look at the plots, and, you know, they do this. The overall trend is up, but there's little dips and highs and lows along the way as it makes that overall trend up. So remember, even if things do get rough in the next 6 to 12 months, continue buying consistently, because like I said earlier in this video, everyone who came along with Final Trade in 21 and 22 and was buying Magic back then, most, if not all of those Magic products are above where we were buying them. All the Magic products of the last 2 years are above where we were buying them. All the Pokemon we were buying in 21, 22, and 23 is up 2, 3, 4, 500%. Flesh and Blood's been pretty flat. Yeah, some of it's actually down from where we were buying in 21 and 22. Again, I have long-term conviction on Flesh and Blood. You can agree with me or not. It's okay. Do what works for your risk profile, your time horizon, your expectation, and everything else. So things have gone really great over the last couple of years through the whole bear cycle and now into this bull run. And when we do eventually have another inevitable bear cycle, it'll be a great opportunity again. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my very generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.